Alright, and welcome to the ultimate guide to parallel and perpendicular lines, level 1. Now in example 1, we're given the function y equals 2/3 x minus 1, and we want to find out what would be a line with a parallel slope to that. Well, what slope would it have? And or what would be another line that had a perpendicular slope? What would the slope of that line be to our original line? So the way that we do this is we always say, okay, well, you know what? Our original slope is y equals mx plus b. It's always the value in front of x. So m is equal to 2/3. So our parallel slope, well, remember, parallel actually just means that we have the same slope. So here our parallel slope to another line would be 2/3. Notice I'll call this m1 and I'll actually call this m2 because we're talking about a second slope. Okay, for letter B, well, we see that when m1 is equal to 2/3, remember, for something that's perpendicular, we have to do two things. Let's call this m3. We have to flip our fraction because it's the reciprocal, so 2/3 becomes 3/2, and we go from a positive to a negative. So kind of keep this in the back of your mind, that a perpendicular slope is an opposite reciprocal. Alright, well, let's go ahead and try this out on example 2. We see y equals -7 plus 3x. However, our formula here is y equals b plus mx. Notice we swapped the b and the mx positions, and so we see our slope here, it's still in front of the x. We can say, okay, m1 is equal to 3. Now remember, for parallel, we have the same slope, so you tell me, what would be our m2? Well, of course, it would be 3. All right, let's think about our example B. What would be a perpendicular slope to the slope of 3? Well, in this case, we have to change 3 into 3/1. And then when we go to write our third slope, what is the opposite reciprocal of 3/1? Well, we flip it, and we go from a positive to a negative. And there you go. All right, I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see y'all in our level 2 video.